Haruhi Suzumiya, a beautiful, intelligent high school girl from the book of Mr. Tanigawa Nagaru, become very popular in Japan and all around the world. The book won the main prize and sold more than 4 million copies. It is a beautiful story, and it was transformed also into a manga, TV series, and so on, so on. It appeared to me, or I should rather say, Haruhi herself told me that it would be nice to talk about her from the Buddhist perspective. It could be very good for her, and this point of view could be really interesting, and also it can really give us something that we can use in our everyday life. So let's talk a little bit about her. Haruhi Suzumiya appeared one day in the head of Mr. Tanigawa Nagaru. How it happened is described in his own words. I can't remember at all how she appeared. She already existed in my mind by the time I noticed her there. In a sleepless night at the beginning of the 21st century, the idea seemed to have come down from heaven into my head at the moment I rolled over in bed. So as we see from the words of the author himself, Miss Haruhi already existed in his mind before he created her. This means that she is a primordial archetypical symbol. She is a yidam, divine power, which is already in our minds and which always was hidden in ourselves. According to the philosophy of Vajrayana, we can connect with these archetypical symbols and find the power, energy, and wisdom through them. I believe that Haruhi is one of these yidams. Of course, this may sound ridiculous for some people, but I don't care. As we know, bodhisattvas do appear in this world according to the needs of this world, not according to our human ideas about how they should look or what they should do. Therefore, archetypical power can appear in this world in any form, and also in the form of Miss Haruhi Suzumiya. According to book and the manga series, Haruhi is bored in the high school. She's always seeking supernatural and anything that could be fun. At the beginning beginning of the school, when children introduced themselves, she stand up and said, "I have no interest in ordinary humans. If there are any aliens, time travelers, sliders or espers, come and join me, that's all." As we see, in some way, she is not satisfied. She is not satisfied with the mundane, boring existence. She wants to find something new. She wants really to live. We may say, from some point of view, or let's say some people would say, that this is the sign of dissatisfaction, and therefore she cannot really be divine, as I said. But we must understand that divine force in this world can and have to appear in many forms. Sometimes it can even perform the role of a bored person. This is so-called skillful means. As we know, some highly realized masters appear in this world and did quite strange things. Some of them were artists, some of them were beggars, some of them just ordinary beings. Yes, bodhisattva or divine power can appear in many ways. But isn't it here another contradiction? Is Haruhi Suzumiya bodhisattva, or is she archetypical yidam or divine power? Well, I cannot really say. I can only express different point of view at Haruhi Suzumiya. I cannot really answer this question. Everybody perceives Haruhi from different way. In the same way, everybody perceives Buddha or Avalokiteshvara in different way. For somebody, or for some, for example, Buddha was a person who transformed his life in this very lifetime and become enlightened. So in one life he come from darkness to wisdom, and all this process happened during one lifetime. But other people think that Buddha was already enlightened before he appeared in this world. That a long time ago he was already enlightened, and his life in this world was, we can say, kind of performance. It was a play which he took to catch the people and to inspire people and to help them to reach awakening and enlightenment. For some others it could be different. And the same thing is with Haruhi. Maybe from the point of view of Yuki Nagato, the alien type, silent girl, a bookworm who always loved to read the books. maybe from her point of view, Haruhi Suzumiya is Bodhisattva, some person with incredible amount of merits, so that he can change his surroundings and the world around him according to his wishes, because of the power of his merits. And this is really true for high bodhisattvas, who can really transform this world because they possess incredible amount of merits, good energy, which always will find a way to express itself, and which can help other things to appear. Really, Haruhi Suzumiya definitely have this ability. We can say a lot of things about her character, and maybe her friend Kyon would say that she is also quite annoying, or very dominant and self-possessed. Anything can be said about her. But we cannot deny that she is a very powerful person, a person who influences others and who brings a lot of energy into this world and who makes things grow. So, there is no problem in our understanding of Haruhi Suzumiya as a bodhisattva. But we can also see her differently as Itsuki Koizumi, the mysterious transfer student, also Esper. This means somebody with extrasensory perception. He would say maybe something different. For him, Haruhi Suzumiya is God. She is a primordial Buddha who create everything, as our mind actually create everything what we see, what we feel. Everything is created by, we may say, primordial Buddha. Our point of view is created by ourselves, our deepest self, and everything else. But how then can it be that she do not act like a perfect being? It's quite interesting. Actually, she do act perfectly, and we can also see her from this point of view without any problem. There's no contradiction. As I already said, for example, in the case of Buddha, if we look at him from the point of view of Vajrayana, he was already enlightened, and everything what he performed was kind of play, a stage play, we can say. And what he really experienced inside, what were his feelings during this, let's say, play, it's a mystery. It is an unknown thing. We cannot really say. So in this same way, we cannot really say what Haruhi experienced. But although her acts appear to be not perfect, she is perfect all the time. And her strange behavior is actually just a skillful mean. it is actually just a mean to awake people, to inspire them, to provoke some questions in them. And we can really see that, for example, Kyon, the philosophical character in this story, is really inspired and touched by her. She really provoked him to do something. If she wouldn't be there, everything would be okay. The world will just flow naturally. But there wouldn't be a joy there. There wouldn't be a happiness, fun. All of these things would miss. There would be something empty in the whole story, of course. It was therefore necessary for her, as a divine power, to appear in this form, in this way. It was necessary that she would appear in her crazy way. She do not ask questions. She do not really have a dialogue with other characters. She mostly give orders. And well, that may be rough. And we cannot say that such a behavior is really a perfect one or useful in all the situations. But maybe just in that moment it was necessary for her to appear in this way. We can say that she's a wrathful person. She is a wrathful Yidam who saved the people through the wrathful means. She is really hard, strong. In the same way as Mahakala or other dark Yidams who appear in the Bardo after death. These beings have to appear in this form because, for example, after our death, our mind wander all around and it cannot really focus. So we need something strong, something what will really catch our attention, and that's the wrathful Yidam. And that is why I think Haruhi Suzumiya appeared in this form. She really have to be like this, because otherwise there would be no possibility for her to change the world around. Her task is actually, according to some people, to raise the level of the evolution. She's the next step of the evolution. And she's going to bring all the beings on the next step. Wouldn't it be wonderful if she would succeed? As we know, evolution is mostly a slow process, which is happening through many millions and billions of years. But sometimes, and this is also part of an evolutionary process, a big steps happen. Sometimes a big step could happen. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we will meet Haruhi and something like this would happen to us. And in that moment, maybe we will forget the means how she achieved it and all the hard times which we had. But now let me introduce to you some other ideas from this novel. As many people know, Haruhi Suzumiya established or started a club known as SOS Brigade. And the reason for this club, for this Sangha to appear, was to brighten the world, enliven the world, or overload it with fun. As we see, Haruhi is not waiting for some kind of miracle, for something that would do all the job for her. She took her life to herself. This is similar as in original Buddhism, in Hinayana, where Buddha used his strength and he somehow used a lot of effort. We normally have to use an effort in order for something to appear. It was the same for the Buddha, so it will be the same for us. And here Haruhi show the way. She show us that we have to take our life into our hands and establish our own club. That's the way how it works. And then, of course, many things can happen. Another point which I would like to talk about is this disheartenment of Haruhi, her boredom, her unhappiness. This is also symbolical. She is disheartened with the samsara, with the suffering which is all around us. We all have to suffer. We all have to suffer, and we do suffer, even in this moment. But somehow we still believe that somehow in the future it will be better. We are not really dissatisfied with our present situation, with the situation where we appeared. So, in this way, nothing will really happen. And as we see, all the other people in the class of Haruhi are kind of satisfied. They are okay with what is. But not Haruhi. She thinks that there is something more in this life. She, we may say, want to find happiness, real, lasting happiness. And this is, we may say, a first step towards liberation. Then there is another point. Why is Haruhi so crazy? Why there is so much joy there? So much activity? Shouldn't be our spiritual path more serious? Shouldn't it be very serious thing? Of course, many people think that the spiritual path or the meditation or philosophical studies should be really serious, and that means boring. This is like this everywhere. For example, going to the church on Sunday is one of the most boring thing in this universe, according to many people. And so we can see that it is quite natural that this strange idea that the spiritual life should be boring appeared in the mind of many people. I don't think so. I don't think that it should be boring. I think it should be fun. It should be interesting. It should be somehow provocating. It should provoke something in us. Yes. For example, now, as I'm talking about Haruhi Suzumiya in this little bit strange way, kind of serious way, isn't it a little bit strange to connect her, the character from a manga, from a book for children somehow? Isn't it strange to connect it with the Dharma? I don't think so. No, I think it is important to find something interesting in spiritual path. It is important that our whole being is activated by the spiritual path. Otherwise, everything gets dry. everything is so dry that it can just disappear in a minute. It is like a chair which is hidden somewhere for thousands of years, and then after many years, when you open the dark room where that chair is, you still can see the shape of it, but when you touch it, it disappears. It falls down and it changes into dust. In the same way, if our life or our spiritual life is not really a living life, then we can end up like this old chair. But we cannot really be too hard to ourselves. Life is not easy.